What is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about something that every poly student would experience, and that is their first day of Polytechnic. And I just want to give some advice to those post-secondary school students who are entering Polytechnic. Even for JC students who decide to divert their route to Poly, or IT students. I cannot forget all these people that are coming from, everywhere, because that's the reality, right? You're going to meet new people, and they are not guaranteed that they're coming from the same secondary school as you, and also they're not going to come from secondary school at all. So here are some of my advices. I hope that you just look at these advices and have yourself perhaps relate to some of the advices and try to make it your own, because my advices are not going to be absolute, not going to be like it works for everybody. So here we go. First one is that I think that Polytechnic, first day of Poly, it's the first day of school, right? But I know some people are just scared of the first day of school, not say scared, but nervous, and usually people are nervous, they're anxious, right? I would just use the word anxious, right? It's because they think about what's going to happen later on. Before school starts, before everything happens, they're already thinking forward. They're thinking, oh, if I go to school, who am I going to meet? Am I going to make any friends? Oh my god, yeah, but just thinking too much. And the first advice on the top of the list is that the first day of school is just not as scary as you think. It's the same as first day of school as a secondary school student, as a primary school student, and even your first day of work. But I believe first day of work will be more scary. But you had experience in secondary school and primary school, so you should be more confident, I would say, But it's also not as scary as you think it would be. You think you may be lost, you may be thrown to the dust. Let's just say that first day of school, just come in with an open mind. But this is part of the first tip, which is it's not as scary as you think, because when you start to think before you do, when you start to step into school and do the things, you're just making it more scary for yourself. I suggest that just start doing, go to school first. After that, just, go with the flow. And don't think too much before, at home, a few days before school, you already start to think. And then obviously, the anxiety builds up. And then that's why you think that it's going to be very scary, very nervous. But nah, it's not. And the second advice on this list would be just be yourself. Be yourself as much as possible. And I think that Polytechnic years are the best time for you to really explore who you are. And not only that, is to take risks, because you're still studying, right? And then I believe majority of us, we don't have to really worry about paying for school fees, because that is probably done by our parents. Most of the time is when you go to university, then the debt starts to set in on you. But now in Poly, it's quite safe. You kind of want to do something that you really like in Poly, because at the same time, when you do something you really like, you can also filter out the things that didn't work out for you. But always just be yourself. Don't follow the bandwagon. Don't hop into the bandwagon. If everybody is into engineering, it doesn't mean you have to do engineering. It doesn't everybody is studying, doesn't mean you have to study. But obviously you need to take note, need to know what you're doing. That's most important. Don't be discouraged by others telling you, oh, this is a risky thing, don't start a business, that kind of thing. Always be yourself. And when I say be yourself, work by your strengths, and don't get swayed away by others. Don't listen to what others say if they're not on the same path as you, obviously. And try to take risks, try to do things different. I think it's going to be a very fun year in Polytechnic, so make the best out of it. Third on the list would be explore as much of the school as possible. I think that for me, my first day of Poly, I was I'm not going to go to school for a few hours just to, attend lesson. But because, even for those who live really far from your Polytechnic, just make use of the time in school first. Because it's going to be a very long trip. Don't just come for a 2-hour lesson and then go home. You can, but I think that the first day of Polytechnic and even the first semester is the best time for you to explore the school, because you have time. I'm not saying you don't really have time when you move on, but right now you feel more at ease because you don't have all these deadlines that are going on in your head. So you can just explore the school, explore every corner of the school by yourself, with your friends. I did it all by myself because typically my friends would just go home after school. They don't even know where the toilets are located, or where some venues, right? The canteens, they should know where it is, but nah, they don't know. But I know because I did the exploring ahead of them. For me, obviously I'm being myself, right? Because I technically I just want to explore the school on my own and to get as much familiarity with the school as much as possible, so that I don't get lost. In line with like the second point, or like the first point, first tip of the list would be do it first. Do not think too much, because at first I think I'm gonna be lost, but like you haven't even started exploring the school. But for me, I start exploring the school. I mean, obviously I had some doubt in my head lah. Like sometimes I might think like I might be lost, but no, it's like you won't be lost. You got Google Maps, it's fine. So yeah, just get started. You let the thinking just go away by itself, because once you get to do things, you kind of like naturally just let all the things that are in your head go away. Yeah. And fourthly, this advice may take some courage in some people, especially me, but I think that you should ask for help. Ask questions when in doubt. It doesn't matter what it is. Obviously, it's not a stupid question, right? Something necessary like financial advisors in academics, right? Financial, you can ask the school. Yeah, that's why I say it takes a lot of courage, because when I talk about financial and then like you want to ask, right? Sometimes you gotta pick the phone up and call, but to be honest, obviously when you phone up to the school, obviously their job is to help you, right? So don't feel pressured or scared to make the call. I mean, obviously I'm also afraid to make a phone call, but when you really need to, really ask when in doubt. And then of course for academics, your lecturers there, they're paid, okay? They are paid. If they're not helping you, you have to file a complaint. I'm kidding, but obviously they're supposed to help you. If they don't help you, then there's something wrong actually. Your lecturers, if you are in doubt, please ask for help. Don't keep quiet, because when you keep quiet, it's like, who are you gonna blame? You only have yourself to blame. I mean, obviously, right? You can't really blame your lecturers unless your lecturers give you the wrong advice, and maybe you can blame a bit, but really ask when in doubt. Like if you forgot your password to log in to like Polite Mall, right? Like all this, you can ask your friends. And then also, it's important to know, that's why I say explore the school, right? Because you also need to know places to be if you've like forgotten stuff. Resetting passwords, sometimes you probably reset on the phone and then you cannot go in, right? You need to know where to like approach, like physically, because physically you have to meet like the people that can help you, like it's all technical issues, right? So you need to know where to go to, right? Even your IC, your student admin card, whatever they are called, you need to know where to get them. And then also, if you lost there, please don't lose your IC. But if you lose your student admin card, you need to know where to go to. And all this, you ask around. Maybe you chance by people like me that knows quite some stuff already. So ask around. That's why I say this advice takes some courage for some, because you need to ask people. Okay, you just need to ask, and just don't worry about it. Just ask first. Okay, if there's any backlash, they criticize you, they scold you, just leave them alone. But don't think about that beforehand. Like, start to ask first, then after that, you see how it goes. Don't think too much before that, because I think first day of poly or anything you start new, right? You already like thinking 10 steps back, but you haven't even get started. So it leads to like overthinking. And I think that is like one of the overarching reason as to why I'm making this video, and also why some of you would feel very nervous on the first day of school. It's just the overthinking part. So always get started first, alright? So wait until the first day of poly, then you start to do, and then go with the flow. Go with the flow. Yeah. And that concludes my video for today. If you enjoyed this video, you found this video useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Click on notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.